The alarm screamed through the Galactic Hegemony's most advanced monitoring station. Admiral Veltash jumped from his rest pod as red lights flashed across the command center. His four arms moved quickly across the control panels, while his tail steadied his large body. "Report!" he barked at the trembling operator. "Sir, we have an impossible reading from Sector 7 Gamma," the young alien stammered. "A vessel is moving through the Kethvar Nebula." Veltash's eyes widened. The Kethvar Nebula was a death trap. Nothing could survive there. The space storms tore apart even their strongest quantum-shielded ships. They used it as a natural barrier to protect their most secret research station. "Show me the data," he ordered. The main screen lit up with sensor readings that made no sense. A ship was indeed moving through the deadly nebula. But the energy signature was all wrong. Instead of the clean quantum signatures of civilized ships, this vessel showed primitive fusion drives. Actual fusion drives, like something from the Dark Ages. "This cannot be real," Veltash whispered. "Run a full diagnostic on all sensors." The operator's claws clicked nervously on his console. "Sir, I have run the diagnostic 3 times. The readings are correct. The vessel is using fusion propulsion and some kind of magnetic field system. Fusion drives were suicide in the Kethvar Nebula. The magnetic storms would overwhelm any known shielding system. Yet somehow this impossible ship was not only surviving, but moving at steady speed toward their research station." Veltash activated the emergency communication system. "Command, this is Monitor Station 12. We have a code black situation in Sector 7 Gamma." The response came immediately. "Monitor 12, did you say code black? Confirm immediately." "Confirmed. Unknown vessel has penetrated the Kethvar Nebula. Using primitive technology, vessel appears to be of unknown origin." A long silence followed. Code black meant first contact with a new species. It had not happened in over 2,000 years. The Galactic Hegemony controlled everything in this part of the galaxy. There were no unknown species left. Meanwhile, millions of miles away, Captain Dae-Ho Kim stood on the bridge of the human exploration vessel New Seoul. He was a calm man with steady eyes who had spent 20 years exploring the edges of human space. Today felt different, though. Today they had done something many thought impossible. "Status report," he asked his crew. Chief Engineer Bo-Ra Park looked up from her console with a smile. "Captain, our magnetic field generators worked perfectly. The storm fields were rough, but we made it through without a scratch." Dae-Ho nodded. The storm fields were what humans called the strange space they had just passed through. Their scientists said it was full of dangerous energy that could destroy ships, but human engineering had found a way through it. "Any damage to the ship?" he asked. "None at all," Bo-Ra replied. "Our hull held up great. The magnetic fields kept the worst of the energy away from us." Science Officer Woo-Jin Lee suddenly looked up from his station with excitement. "Captain, I am picking up artificial signals. There are definitely signs of advanced civilization ahead." Dae-Ho felt his heart beat faster. Humanity had always wondered if they were alone in the universe. They had searched for years and found nothing. Now, finally, they might have their answer. "What kind of signals?" he asked. "Communication arrays, power sources, and what looks like a large space station," Woo-Jin replied. "The technology appears very advanced, much more than ours." Dae-Ho made his decision quickly. "Set course for the signals, but keep our weapons powered down and transmit on all frequencies that we come in peace." Navigator Hyun Woo Choi worked quickly to plot their course. "Captain, the station appears to be about 6 hours away at our current speed." "Good. Yunji, prepare a first contact message. Use mathematics and basic science to show we are intelligent and peaceful." Communications specialist Yunji Song nodded and began working on humanity's first message to alien life. She chose simple, mathematical concepts and peaceful symbols that any advanced species should understand. Back at the monitoring station, chaos was spreading. Admiral Veltash watched in horror as more data came in about the impossible ship. His science team was going crazy trying to understand what they were seeing. "Sir," called his chief scientist, "we have analyzed their hull composition. It appears to be made of iron and carbon alloys." "That is impossible," Veltash replied. "Iron cannot survive quantum storms. It should have been torn apart at the molecular level." "That is what our models say, sir. But the ship is still there." Veltash looked at the data again. Everything about this ship violated the basic laws of physics as the hegemony understood them. Their own ships needed complex quantum shielding and exotic matter manipulation just to exist in normal space. This alien vessel seemed to ignore those requirements completely. "Sir, we are receiving a transmission from the unknown vessel," the communication officer reported. "Put it on screen." The message was simple but clear. Mathematical sequences, atomic structures, and peaceful symbols appeared on the screen. The aliens were trying to communicate and showed they understood science. "They know mathematics," Veltash observed. "They understand atomic theory. This proves they are intelligent." "Should we respond, sir?" asked the communication officer. Veltash hesitated. First contact protocols demanded careful study before any response. But this situation was already far beyond normal protocols. An impossible ship using impossible technology had entered their most secret sector. "Send the standard greeting protocols," he decided, "but also send an immediate alert to the High Council. They need to know about this." As the messages flew across space, neither the humans nor the hegemony fully understood what was happening. The humans thought they had found advanced aliens who might help humanity grow and learn. The hegemony faced their worst fear, a species that could threaten their technology through sheer impossibility. Deho watched the stars ahead and felt hope. After so many years of searching, humanity was no longer alone. He had no idea that his simple exploration ship was causing panic across 17 star systems. In the hegemony capital, emergency meetings were already starting. Scientists, military, leaders, and politicians gathered to discuss the crisis. How could a primitive ship survive what killed their best vessels? What did this mean for hegemony superiority? Most importantly, what did these aliens want? The answers would change everything for both species. As the new soul moved steadily toward the research station, both sides prepared for humanity's first contact with alien life. Neither side knew they were about to discover that the universe was far stranger and more dangerous than anyone had imagined. The stage was set for a meeting that would shake the foundations of galactic civilization. 3 days after the first detection, the hegemony's best scientific minds gathered around massive displays showing impossible data. Researcher Thaklak, the Empire's leading expert on alien technology, stared at the readings with 4 of his eyes while the other 2 watched his team work frantically. "This cannot be real," he muttered for the 100th time. "Show me the hull analysis again." His assistant, a nervous young scientist named Pelmore, brought up the detailed scans. "The outer shell appears to be a simple iron-carbon matrix with trace elements, no quantum bonding, no exotic matter integration, no zero-point energy manipulation." The Clack's breathing holes fluttered with stress. Every ship in the galaxy used quantum technology to exist. Matter in their universe required constant energy input to maintain molecular bonds. Without quantum manipulation, any vessel should collapse into basic particles within minutes. "How thick is their hull?" he asked. "Approximately 2 inches of this iron-carbon material, sir." The Clack nearly fell from his support platform. 2 inches. Their own warships needed 3-foot-thick quantum-bonded armor just to survive normal space travel. This alien ship was protected by what looked like primitive metal plating. "Sir," another scientist called out, "we have analyzed their propulsion system. They appear to be using controlled fusion reactions for primary power." "Fusion?" the Clack gasped. "Raw fusion? How are they containing the plasma without quantum fields?" "That is the problem, sir. We cannot detect any containment fields at all. The fusion reaction appears to be contained by magnetic fields alone." The Room fell silent. Magnetic field containment was theoretical at best. The hegemony had tried it thousands of years ago and failed every time. Plasma was too energetic and unstable. It required quantum manipulation to control safely. "Get me Admiral Veltash immediately," the Clack ordered. Meanwhile, aboard the new Soul, Captain Deho was having a much more pleasant morning. He walked through the ship's corridors, checking on his crew and their progress toward the alien station. "Good. Morning, Captain," called Chief Engineer Bo-Ra Park as he entered the engine room. "I have been thinking about our trip through the storm fields." "What about it?" Deho asked. "Our magnetic field generators worked better than expected. I think we could improve the design even more, maybe make the fields stronger and more efficient." Deho smiled. Bo-Ra was always thinking of ways to make their technology better. It was one of the reasons he had chosen her for this mission. "Show me what you have in mind," he said. Bo-Ra pulled up a simple diagram on her tablet. "Look, if we adjust the field, coils this way, and increase power to the generators, we could probably handle even worse conditions." The diagram showed modifications that would take any human engineer about a week to implement. Simple adjustments to well-understood technology that humanity had been using for decades. In the hegemony monitoring station, scientists watching this conversation were having nervous breakdowns. They are discussing field modifications like it is simple maintenance, whispered one observer. Field coil adjustments that our best engineers need months to calculate. They are planning to do in a few days, added another. Admiral Veltash received the Clack's emergency report and immediately called the High Council. Within an hour, the most powerful beings in the galaxy were listening to an impossible briefing. "Council members," the Clack began, "the alien vessel violates every known law of physics. Their technology should not work, yet it clearly does work better than our own." Council leader Zarthek, an ancient being with silver skin and glowing eyes, leaned forward. "Explain how this is possible." "We believe they come from a region of space where physics works differently," the clock replied carefully. "Their matter appears to be naturally stable without energy input. Their technology manipulates magnetic fields in ways our science says is impossible." "What does this mean for the hegemony?" asked Council Member Velnara. The Clack hesitated before answering. "If they can manipulate stable matter, they could theoretically build weapons that ignore our defenses. Their simple technologies might be more advanced than anything we possess." The council chamber erupted in worried voices. For thousands of years, the hegemony had ruled through technological superiority. No species could match their quantum manipulation and exotic matter engineering. Now they faced aliens who seemed to ignore those advantages completely. Back on the new Soul, Navigator Hyunwoo Choi was plotting their final approach to the alien station. "Captain, we should reach communication range in about 4 hours. Any response to our messages?" Deho asked. Communications specialist Yoonji Song shook her head. "Nothing yet, sir. But I am detecting more signals from their station. They are definitely active and aware of our presence." Science Officer Woo-Jin Lee looked up from his instruments with curiosity. "Captain, I am reading some unusual energy. Patterns from the station. It looks like they are running experiments with very advanced technology." "What kind of experiments?" Deho asked. "Hard to say exactly. But the power levels are enormous, much higher than anything we use." Deho nodded, thoughtfully. The aliens were clearly more advanced than humanity, but humans had something to offer too. Their journey through the storm fields proved that human engineering could handle extreme conditions. "Yoonji, prepare a more detailed message," he ordered. "Include information about our magnetic field technology and our peaceful intentions. Maybe we can offer to share our knowledge." Yoonji began working on the new message while Deho considered the historic moment approaching. Soon, humans would make contact with their first alien civilization. He hoped it would be the beginning of a friendship that would benefit both species. In the hegemony capital, emergency fleets were being prepared. Not for war, but for evacuation. Military planners were calculating how quickly they could move. Populations away from the alien contact zone if things went wrong. "We cannot risk their technology spreading," Admiral Zorgek told his staff. "If their stable matter techniques contaminate our space, it could destabilize our entire civilization." The irony was lost on the hegemony. They feared that humanity's primitive technology was so advanced it could destroy their quantum-based society. Meanwhile, humans were simply excited to meet more advanced aliens who might teach them new things. As the new soul approached the research station, both sides prepared for contact. The humans checked their translation equipment and practiced peaceful greetings. The hegemony prepared contingency plans for civilizational collapse. Neither side understood that they were about to discover something unprecedented in galactic history. Two species from completely different universal physics were about to attempt communication. The meeting would challenge everything both civilizations believed about reality itself. The hegemony cruiser. Dominion's Edge approached the human vessel with extreme caution. Captain Zorthek had volunteered for this dangerous mission despite knowing it might kill him. His ship was the most advanced in the fleet, equipped with the latest quantum shielding and reality stabilizers. "Maintain distance of 50,000 kilometers," he ordered his crew. "We do not know what their stable matter field might do to our systems." On the new Sol, Captain Deho watched the approaching alien ship with wonder. It was beautiful in a strange way, with flowing curves and surfaces that seemed to shift color in the starlight. The design was completely different from human engineering, which favored straight lines and practical shapes. "They are keeping their distance," observed navigator Hyunwoo Choi. "Maybe they are being careful too." "Good thinking," Deho replied. "Eunji, send them our standard peaceful greeting. Include our ship specifications and crew information." Communications specialist Yoon-ji Song transmitted the message while Medical Officer Min-ho Yoon prepared the medical bay for possible alien visitors. Dr. So-young-an, their xenobiologist, was practically vibrating with excitement at the chance to study alien life. The translation systems worked better than expected. Within an hour, both ships were exchanging basic information in simple mathematical concepts and universal scientific principles. "Captain," Yoonji reported, "they call themselves the Hegemony. Their ship captain is named Zorthek. They seem peaceful, but very nervous." "Nervous about what?" Deho asked. "I am not sure. Their messages keep asking about our technology and how we survived the storm fields." On the Dominion's Edge, Captain Zorthek was indeed nervous. His science officer kept reporting impossible readings from the human ship. Every scan revealed new violations of physical law. "Sir, their hull temperature is completely stable," the officer reported. "No quantum fluctuations, no reality distortions. The matter just exists without any energy input." Zorthek's tail twitched with anxiety. "What about their power systems?" "Even worse, sir. They appear to be splitting atoms in controlled reactions and containing the plasma with simple magnetic fields. Our models say the plasma should burn through any magnetic containment in seconds. Yet it does not," Zorthek observed grimly. The formal meeting took place in space between the two ships. Captain Deho and a small team used their shuttle to approach the hegemony vessel. The aliens provided detailed safety instructions that the humans followed carefully. The first sight of an alien was breathtaking. Captain Zorthek was 7 feet tall with smooth gray skin and 4 arms. His large eyes seemed to glow with their own light, and his movements were graceful despite his size. "Welcome," Deho said through the translation system. "I am Captain Deho Kim of the human exploration vessel New Sol. We come in peace and friendship." Zorthek's response was polite but strained. "I am Captain Zorthek of the hegemony cruiser Dominion's Edge. We welcome you to our space, though your presence raises many questions." The conversation started well enough. Both captains exchanged basic information about their species and cultures. Humans, Zorthek learned, came from a small planet and were new to space travel. The hegemony controlled vast areas of the galaxy and had advanced technology. The problems began when Deho offered to share human technology as a gesture of friendship. "Our magnetic field generators might interest your scientists," he said casually. "They are not very advanced by your standards, but they work well for us." Zorthek's eyes widened in horror. "You would share your magnetic field technology?" "Of course," Deho replied, confused by the alien's reaction. "Science should be shared for everyone's benefit." Chief Engineer Bora Park, who had joined the meeting, helpfully offered to demonstrate. "I brought a small field generator to show how it works." She activated the device, creating a simple magnetic field that could deflect metal objects. To humans, it was basic technology taught in engineering school. To the hegemony crew watching, it was like watching someone casually manipulate the fundamental forces of reality. 3 hegemony scientists fainted immediately. Zorthek began shaking, and his breathing became rapid and shallow. The ship's medical team rushed to help their captain, while the humans watched in bewilderment. "Are you ill?" asked Medical Officer Minho Yoon, stepping forward to help. "I am a doctor." "Stay back," gasped Zorthek. "Your presence is causing quantum instability in our systems." Minho was confused but followed the request. He had no idea that his simple medical scanner was registering to the aliens as a reality-warping device of impossible power. Dr. So Young-an tried to document the meeting, while the aliens grew more agitated. Every time the humans moved or used any equipment, the hegemony crew reacted with fear. "I do not understand," Deho said to Zorthek. "We are only trying to be friendly. Have we done something wrong?" Zorthek was helped to a support chair by his crew. His voice was weak when he answered. "You have done nothing wrong. The problem is that everything you do should be impossible." "I do not understand," Deho replied. "Your ship should not exist. Your technology should not work. Your very presence here violates the basic laws of physics as we understand them." The humans exchanged confused glances. Physics was physics. The laws of nature were the same everywhere, weren't they? Bora tried to help by explaining their technology in simple terms. "Our magnetic field generator just uses electrical coils to create controlled magnetic fields. It is very basic science." Her explanation only made things worse. The concept of controlled magnetic fields without quantum manipulation was terrifying to the hegemony. It suggested that humans could manipulate fundamental forces without any of the complex technology that the hegemony required. The meeting ended abruptly when Zorthek's medical team declared a quantum emergency. The captain was suffering from reality displacement syndrome, a condition caused by exposure to impossible physics. "We must return to our ship immediately," the hegemony medical officer announced. "Captain Zorthek needs treatment for quantum shock." As the aliens prepared to leave, Zorthek managed one final message to Deho. "Please stay in this sector. Do not travel further into hegemony space, for everyone's sake." The humans were left, alone in their shuttle, completely bewildered by what had happened. They had tried to be friendly and peaceful, but somehow their very presence had made the alien captain sick. "What did we do wrong?" asked Bora. "I do not know," Deho replied thoughtfully. "But I think we are dealing with something much more complicated than simple first contact." The Dominion's Edge retreated quickly, sending desperate messages to Hegemony Command. Their report was brief but terrifying. The humans were even more dangerous than originally feared. Their casual use of impossible technology suggested capabilities beyond imagination. As both ships separated, neither side understood the true nature of their problem. The humans thought they had somehow offended the aliens through cultural misunderstanding. The hegemony believed they had encountered a species so advanced that their basic technology could unravel reality itself. The stage was set for an even greater crisis as news of the disastrous first contact spread through both civilizations. The great council chamber of the hegemony had never seen such chaos. Representatives from 1,000 worlds filled the massive space, their voices creating a storm of worry and fear. Emergency sessions had been called across 17 star systems as news of the human encounter spread like wildfire. Council leader Zarthek stood at the center podium, his ancient form commanding attention, despite the panic around him. "Order! We will have order in this chamber!" Slowly, the voices died down as Intelligence Coordinator Mexaval approached the presentation platform. Her 6 arms moved gracefully as she activated the holographic displays that would show the terrible truth about the human threat. "Council members," she began, "what I am about to show you will challenge everything we believe about the nature of reality." The first display showed the new soul, rotating slowly to reveal its impossible construction. Gasps echoed through the chamber as the technical details appeared. "This vessel's hull is composed of iron and carbon alloys," Mexaval continued. "Simple materials that should not exist in stable form without constant quantum manipulation. Yet this ship has traveled through the Kethvar Nebula, a region that destroys our most advanced warships." Council member Velnara from the military sector stood up. "How is this possible? Our best quantum-bonded hulls cannot survive those conditions." "That is the first impossibility," Mexaval replied. "But there are many more." The next display showed the human magnetic field generator. They demonstrated technology that creates controlled magnetic fields without quantum assistance. "Our physics declare this impossible. Yet we observed it working perfectly." Elder Thokvan, the oldest member of the council, raised a shaking hand. "Are you saying they have technology beyond our understanding?" "Worse," Mexval answered. "They have technology that should not work according to the fundamental laws of our universe. Their computer systems process information through methods we cannot comprehend. Their casual mention of nuclear reactors suggests they have weaponized stellar fusion on a portable scale." The chamber erupted in frightened voices. Nuclear fusion was the power source of stars. The idea that any species could contain and control such forces in small devices was beyond terrifying. "How many of these humans are there?" called out Defense. "Minister Kolthara." "Unknown," Mexaval replied. "But if their basic technology violates physical law, we must assume their weapons and defenses are equally impossible." Meanwhile, millions of miles away, the crew of the New Soul was having a very different meeting. Captain Deho had gathered his officers in the ship's conference room to discuss their strange encounter with the aliens. "Something scared them," he said thoughtfully, "but I cannot figure out what." Science officer Wu Jin Lee pulled up his notes from the meeting. "They kept talking about quantum technology and reality manipulation. Maybe their science works differently than ours." "How differently?" asked Chief Engineer Bo-Ra Park. "I am not sure," Wu Jin admitted. "But they seemed shocked by our magnetic field generator. To us, it is basic technology. To them, it appeared to be some kind of miracle device." Dr. So Young-an, who had been studying the aliens' biological data, looked up from her tablet. "I noticed something interesting about their physiology. Their cellular structure appears to require constant energy input to maintain stability." "What does that mean?" asked Medical Officer Minho Yoon. "Think about it," So Young explained. "Our cells are naturally stable. Once formed, they maintain their structure without external energy. But these aliens seem to need continuous power, just to exist." The implications were staggering, though the humans did not fully realize it yet. They were beginning to understand that they had encountered a species with fundamentally different physics. "Maybe that explains their technology," suggested Bo-Ra. "If their matter is naturally unstable, they would need advanced science just to build simple things." Navigator Hyun-Woo Choi, who had been quietly studying star charts, suddenly spoke up. "Captain, I have been analyzing the energy signatures from that research station. I think we should investigate it." "Why?" Deho asked. The power patterns are unusual. It looks like they are conducting experiments with dimensional manipulation or reality alteration. Very advanced stuff, but also very dangerous. Deho made his decision quickly. Set course for the station, but maintain full shields and be ready to retreat if necessary. As the new soul moved toward the abandoned research facility, the Hegemony Council continued its emergency session. Mexval was presenting the most terrifying evidence yet. Analysis of the human vessel shows that their matter exists in what we can only call a stable state, she explained. Unlike our quantum-dependent materials, their substances maintain molecular bonds without energy input. What does this mean for our civilization? Asked Economic Minister Yel Kara. Researcher Thaklak, who had joined the session virtually, answered from his laboratory. If humans can manipulate stable matter, they could theoretically create weapons that ignore our quantum defenses. Worse, their presence might destabilize the quantum foundations of our technology. The council chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. The Hegemony's entire civilization was built on quantum manipulation. If that technology failed, their ships, cities, and life support systems would collapse. Are you saying these humans could destroy us without meaning to? Asked Council Leader Zarthek. It is possible, Thaklak replied grimly. Their stable matter field appears to be spreading slowly through the space around their ship. If it continues, it could create a cascade effect that would shut down our quantum systems across multiple sectors. Panic began to spread through the council as representatives realized the scope of the threat. Some called for immediate military action. Others demanded evacuation of nearby systems. A few suggested trying to negotiate with the humans, though. No one knew what to offer beings who could apparently ignore the laws of physics. Back on the new Sol, the crew was making a discovery that would change everything. As they approached the research station, their sensors detected something unexpected. "Captain," called Wu Jin, "I am reading massive quantum distortions around the station. It looks like the aliens have been trying to create stable matter artificially." "Stable matter?" Deho asked. "Matter that exists without constant energy input," Wu Jin explained. "Like everything on our ship. But for some reason, they have to work very hard to create it." Physicist Jun Seo. Oh, who had been quiet during most of the journey, suddenly became very interested. "Can you show me the exact readings?" As Jun Seo studied the data, his face grew pale. "Captain, I think I understand what is happening. These aliens live in a universe where matter is naturally unstable. They need quantum technology just to exist. And we come from a universe where matter is naturally stable," Bo-Ra added, understanding dawning in her voice. "Exactly," Jun Seo confirmed. "To them, we are beings from an impossible reality where the laws of physics work differently. No wonder they are scared." The revelation was staggering. Humanity had not just encountered aliens. They had encountered an entire civilization from a parallel physics system. The humans were walking proof that reality could work in ways the Hegemony thought impossible. As both sides struggled to understand the implications of first contact between two different universal physics, the stage was set for even greater discoveries and dangers ahead. The research station hung in space like a twisted metal flower, its strange architecture defying human understanding of engineering. As the new Sol approached, Captain Deho could see that the facility was enormous, easily 10 times larger than the biggest human space station. "No signs of life," reported Science Officer Wu Jin Lee. "But the power systems are still active. Automated systems, probably." "Any response to our communication attempts?" Deho asked. Communications specialist Yunji Song shook her head. "Nothing. But I am detecting data transmissions between different parts of the station. Whatever experiments they were running, some of them are still going." Chief Engineer Bo-Ra Park studied the station's energy signatures with growing amazement. "Captain, the power output from this facility is incredible. They are using more energy than our entire planet produces. For what? Daeho wondered aloud. Physicist. Junseo had been analyzing the quantum readings since they arrived. Now he looked up with excitement and worry mixed on his face. Captain, I think they have been trying to create matter like ours. Stable matter that does not need constant energy to exist. Show me, Daeho ordered. Junseo brought up his analysis on the main screen. Look at these readings. The station has dozens of experimental chambers where they try to manipulate quantum fields, but every test appears to have failed catastrophically. The data showed explosion after explosion, each one caused by attempts to create stable molecular bonds. The aliens had been trying for what looked like centuries to build matter that worked like human matter. They cannot do it, Bo-Ra realized. Their universe will not let them create stable matter artificially. But we exist naturally in stable matter, added Junseo. To them, we must seem like gods who can ignore the basic laws of reality. Medical Officer Minho Yoon had been monitoring the crew's health since they approached the station. Now he noticed something troubling. Captain, I am detecting some unusual readings from the crew. Nothing dangerous yet, but our bodies seem to be reacting to the quantum environment here. What kind of reactions? Daeho asked. Cellular stress patterns? It is like our stable matter is rejecting the quantum nature of local space. I recommend we limit our exposure time. Dr. So Young-an was fascinated by the biological implications. This proves our theory. We really are from a different type of universe. Our bodies are designed for stable physics, just like our technology. Navigator Hyun-woo Choi had been studying the station's layout and found something interesting. Captain, there appears to be a central data core that is still accessible. If we could dock with the station, we might be able to access their research files. Daeho considered the risks. The station was clearly alien technology, possibly dangerous. But the chance to understand what was happening was too valuable to ignore. Bo-Ra, can we dock safely? He asked. I think so, she replied, after studying the station's docking ports. Their design is different, but I can adapt our systems. Do it. But keep the engines ready for immediate departure if anything goes wrong. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, hegemony, fleets were mobilizing for the largest evacuation in their history. Admiral Zorgek stood in the command center of the massive fleet carrier Eternal Dominion, watching as thousands of ships prepared to flee. Status report, he demanded. Evacuation of Sector 7 Gamma is proceeding ahead of schedule, reported Fleet Coordinator Velmash. We have moved 3 billion civilians to safety zones beyond the contamination radius. Contamination radius? Asked Admiral Zorgek. Our scientists believe the human ship's stable matter field is spreading slowly through space. Any area affected becomes hostile to our quantum-based technology. The implications were staggering. If the humans' mere presence could shut down hegemony technology, they represented an existential threat to the entire civilization. What about the research station? Zorgek asked. Still active, but we have lost contact with the automated systems. The humans appear to be investigating the facility. Zorgek's forearms clenched with stress. They cannot be allowed to access Project Reality Anchor. If they discover what we were trying to do... He did not finish the sentence. Project Reality Anchor was the hegemony's darkest secret, their desperate attempt to create technology like the humans possessed naturally. Back at the station, the human crew was making exactly the discovery the hegemony feared. Bo-Ra had successfully adapted their docking systems, and a small team was now exploring the alien facility. The air is breathable, reported Minho as they entered the main corridor. Different composition than Earth normal, but safe for humans. The station's interior was as strange as its exterior. Curved walls pulsed with soft light, and control panels seemed to flow like liquid metal. Everything was designed for beings very different from humans. This way, called Wu Jin, following signals from his scanner. The main data core should be in the central section. As they moved deeper into the station, they began to see evidence of the experiments that had taken place here. Blast-scorched chambers, twisted metal that had been warped by quantum forces, and empty containment fields that had once held unstable matter. They really were trying to create stable matter, observed Junseo as he examined one of the experimental chambers. Look at these scorch marks. The quantum fields collapsed violently when they tried to stabilize the molecular bonds. Dr. So Young was documenting everything with her recording equipment. This must have been incredibly dangerous work. Any mistake could have destroyed the entire station. They reached the data core without incident. It was a spherical chamber filled with crystalline structures that pulsed with quantum light. The alien computer system was still active, processing vast amounts of data. "Can we access their files?" asked Daeho. Wu Jin connected his portable translator to one of the interface ports. "I am trying to decode their data formats. Give me a few minutes." While Wu Jin worked, the others explored the chamber. The walls were covered with displays showing failed experiments, theoretical models, and desperate attempts to understand stable matter physics. "Captain," called Junseo from across the room, "you need to see this." He was standing in front of a massive display that showed the hegemony's theoretical model of human technology. The aliens had been trying to reverse engineer human physics based on their observations. "They think we are using some kind of super-advanced quantum manipulation," Junseo explained. "They cannot understand that our matter is naturally stable." "Got it!" announced Wu Jin triumphantly. "I have access to their research files." The data that appeared on their screens was overwhelming. Thousands of years of research, millions of failed experiments, and the desperate attempts of an entire civilization to create technology that humans took for granted. "They call it Project Reality Anchor," Wu Jin read from the files. "The goal was to create matter that could exist without quantum field support." "Like our matter," Bo-Ra said quietly. "Exactly. But every attempt failed. Their universe simply will not allow stable matter to exist artificially." Dr. So Young found the biological research files and gasped at what she read. "They have been trying to modify themselves too, attempting to create stable biological matter like human cells." "Did they succeed?" asked Minho. "No. Every test subject died when their quantum-dependent biology was exposed to stable matter fields." The terrible truth was becoming clear. The hegemony had spent millennia trying to achieve what humans possessed naturally. Their entire civilization was based on the desperate attempt to overcome the fundamental instability of their universe. "We are not more advanced than them," Daeho realized. "We are just from a different type of reality where things work differently. And our presence here might be destabilizing their quantum-based existence," added Junseo grimly. As the implications sank in, alarms began sounding throughout the station. Their presence had triggered automated systems that detected reality anomalies. "Time to go," ordered Daeho. "We have learned enough." As they raced back to their ship, carrying data that would change both civilizations forever, neither the humans nor the distant hegemony fleets realized they were about to face the greatest crisis in galactic history. The emergency meeting aboard the New Soul brought together all the senior officers as they tried to understand the massive files they had recovered from the alien research station. Dr. So Young An and Science Officer Wu Jin Lee had spent hours translating the data, and what they found changed everything. "Captain," So Young began, her voice filled with amazement, "we are not dealing with a more advanced civilization. We are dealing with a completely different type of universe." Captain Daeho Kim leaned forward in his chair. "Explain what you mean." Physicist Junseo Oh activated the main display, showing a comparison between human and hegemony physics. "In our universe, matter naturally maintains its molecular structure. Atoms bond together and stay bonded without external energy. This is what we call stable matter." "That sounds normal," observed Medical Officer Minho Yoon. "It is normal for us," Junseo continued. But in the hegemony's universe, matter is fundamentally unstable. Without constant quantum field manipulation, all atomic bonds would collapse within minutes. The implications were staggering. Chief Engineer Bo-Ra Park stared at the data with growing understanding. So everything they build requires constant energy input just to exist? Exactly, confirmed Wu Jin. Their ships, their cities, even their bodies need quantum manipulation to maintain molecular cohesion. What we consider basic engineering is impossible in their reality. Communications specialist Yoon-ji Song looked up from her translation work. Captain, I have been studying their communications protocols. They have thousands of different emergency codes for quantum field failures. To them, reality itself is unstable and dangerous. Dae-ho was beginning to understand the scope of what they had discovered. And when we appeared using stable matter, technology, we represented something that should not exist according to their physics, finished So-young. We are walking proof that reality can work in ways they thought impossible. Navigator Hyun-woo Choi had been monitoring long-range sensors while the others worked. Now he noticed something alarming. Captain, I am detecting massive gravitational anomalies appearing throughout this sector. What kind of anomalies? Dae-ho asked. Ripples in space-time. It looks like reality itself is becoming unstable in areas around our ship. Jun Seo quickly analyzed the sensor data, and his face went pale. Our stable matter field is causing interference with the local quantum substrate. We are literally destabilizing their version of physics just by being here. The crew exchanged worried glances as the full danger of their situation became clear. Their very presence was potentially catastrophic to the hegemony's quantum-based civilization. How bad could it get? Asked Bo-Ra. If the effect spreads, Jun Seo replied grimly, it could cause a cascade failure of quantum fields across multiple star systems. Every piece of hegemony technology would simply stop working. Minho was monitoring the crew's health and noticed troubling changes. Captain, we are also being affected. Our stable matter biology is starting to reject the quantum environment. I am seeing cellular stress in all crew members. How long do we have? Dae-ho asked. Unknown. Maybe days, maybe weeks. But the longer we stay here, the worse it will get for both us and them. Across the galaxy, the hegemony's greatest scientists were reaching the same terrifying conclusions. In the Emergency Research Center on the capital world, researcher Thaklak presented his findings to Supreme Commander Velnarth and the Crisis Council. The humans are not using super-advanced technology, he explained. They are using technology that works according to different universal physics. Their matter is naturally stable in ways that ours can never be. Supreme Commander Velnarth, a massive being with crystalline skin and multiple eyes, studied the data with growing alarm. What does this mean for our civilization? It means we have encountered beings from a parallel reality where the fundamental forces work differently, Thaklak replied. Their presence is creating reality storms that could destroy our quantum-dependent technology. Military advisor Kolthex stepped forward. Can we destroy their ship before the contamination spreads? That might make things worse, warned Thaklak. If their stable matter field collapses violently, it could create a reality shockwave that would shut down quantum fields across dozens of systems. Then what do you recommend? Asked Velnarth. Thaklak hesitated before answering. We need to communicate with them. They may not understand the danger their presence represents. If we can work together, perhaps we can find a solution. Back on the new Soul, Captain Dae-ho was facing the hardest decision of his career. They had made first contact with an alien civilization, but their very existence threatened to destroy that civilization. We could retreat, suggested Hyun-woo. Return to human space and report what we found. But then we leave the hegemony to deal with the reality instabilities we have already caused, pointed out So-young, and we lose the chance to establish peaceful relations with an alien species, added Yoon-ji. Jun Seo had been working frantically on calculations since discovering the reality cascade effect. Now he looked up with a possible solution. Captain, I think there might be a way to create a stable interface between our two types of physics. How? Asked Dae-ho. Our ship's drive creates a controlled field of stable matter around us, Jun Seo explained. If we could modify it to project a buffer zone, a region where both stable and quantum matter could coexist safely, we might be able to communicate without causing reality damage. Bora studied the engineering requirements. It would require significant modifications to our field generators, and we would need precise data about their quantum field frequencies. Could we ask them for that data? Suggested Wu Jin. Before anyone could answer, Yunji's communication system came alive with incoming signals. Captain, we are receiving a transmission from a large hegemony fleet. They are requesting immediate communication. Dae-ho made his decision. Open the channel. Let us see if we can work together to solve this problem. The face that appeared on their screen belonged to Supreme Commander Vel Narth. Despite the alien features, the humans could see the stress and worry in his expression. Human vessel, Vel Narth began. I am Supreme Commander Vel Narth of the Galactic Hegemony. We need to discuss the crisis that your presence has created. We are willing to talk, Dae-ho replied. We did not know our ship would cause problems for your technology. Our scientists believe your stable matter field is creating reality instabilities that could destroy our civilization, Vel Narth explained. But we also believe you do not intend harm. You are correct, confirmed Dae-ho. We came here seeking peaceful contact. If our presence is dangerous, we want to find a solution. There was hope in Vel Narth's voice when he responded. Our researchers have a proposal. If we can create a stable interface zone between our ships, we might be able to work together safely. Jun Seo stepped forward. We have been thinking the same thing. Our physicist believes it is possible. Then let us begin immediately, Vel Narth replied. Time is running out for both our civilizations. As both sides prepared to attempt the most ambitious physics project in galactic history, they had no idea they were about to create something entirely new, a bridge between different universal realities that would change the future forever. The reality storms began without warning. Medical Officer Min-ho Yoon was the first to notice when crew members started collapsing during routine duties. Communications specialist Yoon-ji Song suddenly doubled over at her station, gasping as her body rejected the increasingly unstable quantum environment around them. Medical emergency on the bridge, Min-ho called as he rushed to help Yoon-ji. His scanner showed readings he had never seen before. Her cells were literally fighting against the local physics. What is happening to her? Asked Captain Dae-ho. Kim, kneeling beside his communications officer. Quantum sickness, Min-ho replied grimly. Her stable matter biology is rejecting the quantum substrate of local space. It is like her body thinks reality itself is wrong. Navigator Hyun-woo Choi looked up from his instruments with alarm. Captain, the gravitational anomalies are spreading. I am reading massive distortions throughout the sector. Science Officer Woo Jin Lee confirmed the worst fears. The cascade effect has begun. Our stable matter field is creating expanding zones where quantum fields are failing. Meanwhile, millions of miles away, the hegemony fleet was experiencing catastrophic system failures. Supreme Commander Vel Narth watched in horror as ship after ship reported critical malfunctions. Sir, the quantum cores on 17 vessels have destabilized, reported Fleet Coordinator Yelmara. Hull integrity is failing across the fleet. Evacuate all affected ships immediately, Vel Narth ordered. Transfer crews to vessels still outside the contamination zone. The irony was terrible. The hegemony's most advanced fleet was being destroyed not by weapons or enemies, but by the simple presence of matter that existed naturally. Their quantum-dependent technology was shutting down as stable matter fields spread through space. Back. On the new Sol, physicist Junseo O worked desperately to understand what was happening. Captain, the cascade is accelerating. Every minute we stay here, the effect grows stronger. Can we stop it? Daeho asked. Maybe, Junseo replied, sweat beading on his forehead. If we can create the interface zone quickly enough, we might be able to stabilize the boundary between our physics and theirs. Chief Engineer Bora Park was already implementing Junseo's theoretical modifications to their drive system. I need another hour to complete the field generator modifications. We may not have an hour, warned Minho as more crew members showed signs of quantum sickness. Our bodies are designed for stable physics. The longer we stay in this quantum environment, the more our biological systems will fail. Dr. So Young-an was monitoring the situation from the medical bay when she made a disturbing discovery. Captain, I am detecting quantum field fluctuations in our own ship now. The local instability is starting to affect our hull integrity. The situation was becoming desperate. The humans were causing a reality cascade that was destroying the hegemony. But staying to fix the problem was slowly killing the human crew. Velnarth's voice came through the communication system with barely controlled panic. Human vessel. Our projections show total quantum field collapse within 6 hours. Billions of beings will die if their life support systems fail. We are working on the solution, Daeho replied. But we need your help. Can your scientists provide exact specifications for your quantum field frequencies? Transmitting now, Velnarth responded immediately. But you should know, we are detecting reality storms spreading beyond this sector. The cascade may have already reached critical mass. Wu Jin received the data and quickly passed it to Junseo and Bora. The quantum signatures are more complex than we thought. Their reality uses 17 different types of quantum fields, working together. Can we create an interface for all 17 types? Asked Bora. We have to try, Junseo replied, his fingers flying over the calculation interface. If we fail, both civilizations could be destroyed. The next few hours were the most critical in the history of both species. While Bora and her engineering team worked frantically to modify the field generators, Junseo calculated the precise frequencies needed to create a stable interface zone. Hyunwoo monitored the spreading cascade effect with growing dread. Captain, I am reading quantum field failures in 12 star systems now. Hegemony evacuation fleets are reporting massive casualties. The pressure was enormous. Every minute of delay meant more deaths and wider destruction. But rushing the solution could make things even worse. Status report, Daeho called to his engineering team. Field generator modifications are 70% complete, Bora replied. But the quantum fluctuations are making it hard to maintain stable connections. Minho was treating crew members as fast as they collapsed. Captain, we are losing people. Navigator Choi just lost consciousness, and Engineer Park is showing severe symptoms. The situation became critical when Hyunwoo collapsed at his station. Yoonji, barely able to function herself, took over navigation duties while Minho worked to stabilize the navigator's condition. We cannot wait any longer, Daeho decided. Bora, activate the interface field with whatever modifications you have completed. Sir, it is only partially calibrated, Bora warned weakly. If the field fails, the feedback could destroy both our ship and the hegemony fleet. If we do nothing, billions die anyway, Daeho replied. Do it! Bora activated the experimental interface field with shaking hands. The new Sol's modified drive system projected a bubble of carefully controlled energy that attempted to create a zone where both stable and quantum matter could coexist. For a terrifying moment, nothing happened. Then the sensors showed something unprecedented, a region of space where the laws of physics from both universes operated simultaneously. It is working! Gasped Junseo from his position on the floor. The cascade effect is slowing. Velnarth's voice came through the communication system with relief and amazement. Human vessel, Our quantum core stabilizations are holding. The reality storms appear to be contained, but the success came at a terrible cost. The strain of maintaining the interface field was enormous. Bora collapsed at her engineering station, and half the human crew was unconscious from quantum sickness. We have created a stable zone, Daiho reported to the hegemony fleet, but we cannot maintain it indefinitely. We need to work together quickly to find a permanent solution. Agreed, Velnarth replied. Our scientists are already analyzing the interface field. This is the first time in our history that stable and quantum matter have coexisted peacefully. As both sides worked frantically to understand and improve the reality bridge they had created, they realized they had accomplished something impossible. They had found a way for two incompatible universal physics to work together. The immediate crisis was contained, but the real work was just beginning. Both civilizations would need to learn entirely new sciences to maintain peaceful contact between their radically different realities. 6 months after the crisis that nearly destroyed two civilizations, Captain Daiho Kim stood in the observation deck of the first joint human hegemony research station. The Soul Accord station hung in space at the exact point where the reality bridge had first been created, a symbol of cooperation between impossible physics. The station itself was a marvel of hybrid engineering. Human stable matter construction formed the core structure, while hegemony quantum field technology provided the advanced systems. It should not have worked according to either civilization's science, yet here it was, a functioning bridge between two different universal realities. Captain, called Dr. So Young-an as she entered the observation deck, the morning briefings are ready. Both teams have made significant progress. Daiho nodded and followed her to the main conference room. The sight still amazed him. Humans and hegemony scientists working side by side, their different biologies requiring carefully maintained environmental zones, but their minds focused on the same incredible goals. Physicist Jun Seo-oh, now fully recovered from his quantum sickness, was presenting the latest theoretical breakthroughs to a mixed audience of human and alien scientists. We have confirmed that stable matter and quantum matter represent two completely different universal physics operating in the same space-time framework. Hegemony scientist Yel Mara, her crystalline form glowing softly in the station's mixed lighting, added her analysis. Our calculations show that both physics systems are equally valid. Neither is more advanced. They are simply different approaches to the fundamental forces. Chief Engineer Bora Park, who had spent months learning to work with hegemony quantum technology, demonstrated their latest hybrid creation. By combining our magnetic field manipulation with their quantum stabilization techniques, we have created materials that are stronger than anything either civilization could build alone. The demonstration showed a sample of hybrid matter that maintained stable molecular bonds while also manipulating quantum fields. It was a physical impossibility that had become reality through cooperation. This opens incredible possibilities, observed hegemony engineer Tholvek. Your stable matter techniques could revolutionize our construction methods, while our quantum manipulation could give your ships capabilities you never imagined. Communications specialist Yoonji Song, working alongside hegemony communications specialist Varketh, had developed the translation protocols that made ongoing cooperation possible. We have established communication networks that can operate across the reality bridge, she reported. Both civilizations can now maintain contact without risking cascade effects. The success was remarkable, but it had come with necessary limitations. The Soul Accords established strict guidelines for contact between the two civilizations. Human ships could only enter hegemony space through carefully maintained reality bridge zones, and hegemony vessels needed special quantum shielding to visit human territory. The buffer zones are working perfectly, reported navigator Hyun-woo Choi, who had recovered completely from his quantum sickness experience. We now have 7 stable interface points established across the contact region. Medical officer Min-ho Yoon had made perhaps the most important discovery of all. We have learned to treat quantum sickness and reality displacement syndrome. Medical teams from both civilizations can now work safely in mixed physics environments for extended periods. The breakthroughs extended beyond just technology and medicine. Cultural exchange programs had begun, with carefully protected volunteers from both species learning about each other's societies. The differences were vast, but the similarities were surprising. Hegemony philosophy emphasizes adaptation and flexibility, explained Dr. So Young, who had become the station's leading expert on comparative cultures. Their entire worldview is based on the understanding that reality is changeable and requires constant effort to maintain, while human philosophy tends to assume stability and permanence, added hegemony cultural specialist Melthara. Your species expects the universe to remain consistent, which explains your stable matter technology. Supreme Commander Velnarth arrived for the 6-month progress review, his massive form requiring special accommodations in the station's quantum stable zones. Captain Deho met him in the formal conference chamber designed to host both species safely. Captain Kim, Velnarth began, the Hegemony Council wishes to express its gratitude for your courage during the crisis. Your crew's willingness to risk everything saved billions of lives. We were just doing what seemed right, Deho replied. Both our civilizations have benefited from learning to work together. Indeed, Velnarth agreed. Our quantum enhancement techniques have improved human ship design significantly, and your stable matter methods have revolutionized our construction capabilities. The evidence was visible throughout the station. Human ships now incorporated hegemony quantum cores that provided incredible power efficiency. Hegemony vessels used human stable matter hulls that required far less energy to maintain. Both technologies had improved through cooperation. What are the long-term plans? Asked Deho. The Council has approved expansion of the contact zones, Velnarth announced. We will establish 10 more reality bridge points over the next year, allowing greater trade and scientific exchange. The economic implications were staggering. Resources that were common in one universe but rare in the other could now be traded across the reality bridge. Hegemony quantum crystals were incredibly valuable to human technology, while human stable metals were worth their weight in quantum cores to the hegemony. There is also a proposal for a joint exploration mission, Velnarth continued. Our combined technologies might allow us to explore regions of space that neither civilization could reach alone. Junseo looked up with excitement. A hybrid ship using both stable matter and quantum manipulation could theoretically travel through space-time distortions that would destroy either type of vessel individually. The universe is much larger and stranger than either of us imagined, observed Bo-Ra. Who knows what other realities might exist out there? As the meeting concluded, Deho reflected on how much had changed since that first panicked encounter in Sector 7 Gamma. The Galactic Hegemony's initial fear of the impossible human vessel had transformed into a partnership that was revolutionizing. Both civilizations, Yunji approached with the latest communication reports. Captain, we have received requests from 17 different human colonies wanting to establish reality bridge connections with hegemony worlds. The demand for cultural and scientific exchange is growing rapidly. What about the hegemony? Deho asked. Similar interest, she replied. Hundreds of hegemony worlds want to study human stable matter techniques. Some are even proposing joint colonies in the interface zones. The future looked bright with possibilities that neither species had imagined before first contact. Children born in the interface zones were already showing adaptations that allowed them to function comfortably in both stable matter and quantum environments. We are witnessing the birth of a new type of civilization, observed Dr. So Young, one that bridges multiple realities and combines different universal physics. As Captain Deho looked out at the stars from the observation deck, he thought about the question that had started everything. Why is a human vessel within this sector? The answer had led to discoveries that would reshape the galaxy forever. The panic had become partnership. The impossible had become routine. And two civilizations that should never have been able to coexist had found a way to build something greater than either could achieve alone. The Soul Accords. Station stood as proof that even the most fundamental differences could be overcome through courage, cooperation, and the willingness to explore the impossible. Humanity and the hegemony had found their bridge between worlds, and the universe would never be the same.